Okay. And so I just kind of worked my way through going back over the lines. Let's see, his knee pads are essentially octagons. I like the idea of dwarves utilizing as many hard edges and primitive shapes as possible. Um, so triangles, squares, rectangles, octagons. Um, what else? Uh, hmm, Having trouble thinking of another one. Uh, yeah, so like a pentagon or a hexagon, and that's actually what these are, is hexagons, because they're six-sided, right? One, two, three, four, five. Wait, one, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight. So those would be octagons. Okay, what happened here? Oh, thank you for following. I'm still learning the notifications and stuff. But I really appreciate the follow. But at least now I know this thing works, that it will actually kick up a notification and a sound when someone follows. I do kind of wish it would do that when anyone enters the stream, so I would know that I'm not just sitting here talking to myself still. But cool. Thank you for joining. Did I read that right? Oh yeah, F2P bolts. I'm doing good today. How are you today? So I don't normally wear bright orange, but I just got off work and I was running a little late for when I was supposed to start my stream, so I just left it on. um, but yeah, so that is that's why the bright orange today. I mean, so I do wear it every day, but not for the stream. It's safety for work. Well, I'm glad you're having a good day. Is it early or late for you? Well, I mean, as far as in your schedule. Well, I try to make sure that I show up and do what I say I'm gonna do, but I don't always make it. Sometimes it just doesn't work out. But if I can help it, I do exactly what I say I'm gonna do. All right. Oh, right on. I'm actually from Arizona. I grew up in uh, Phoenix and Sholo, but I moved out here to the East Coast in 2000. So technically, I've been here longer, but I grew up out there. Okay, let's see. Um, oh, that's my cursor. I thought I had a chunky line right there. So because I didn't have the whole boot there, I kind of reconstruct this and we'll see how it goes. Go right there. And right on. Yeah, it was like I said, I moved out of Arizona in about 2000 and came out to the East Coast because I was kind of I don't like that. I was kind of what do I want to say? Like tired of the desert. But then once I got out here, I found out I'm pretty much allergic to everything that is alive. So it's kind of been a miserable 23 years out here as far as that goes. Let's see. So yeah, mowing the grass is like misery, and like I'll get through it, and then I'll be congested for like a day and a half afterward. But at least out in Arizona, all we usually had for a yard was rocks and cactus. That I could deal with. Alrighty. And this leg was stuck behind the paladin, and so I have to kind of reconstruct parts of it because they just got wiped out. So let's see. This is the strap, and that's the pants back there. And put this trim on here. And let's see. So I don't know how long you were watching for F2P, but or bolts, but what I'm working on here is a coloring book that's 32 pages long, and this is page 21 of the book. And I did like all the pencil sketches be, before coming back to ink it from this point. So I'm coming back to some artwork that is like 6 months old, and basically, trying to ink the stuff that that I thought was cool 6 months ago, and changing it up and refining it a little bit as I go. Okay, let's keep some wrinkles in this boot right here. And that should do. And going back up to here, put this plate in and make sure it curves down into his chest just a little bit. Okay. And let's see here. So the dwarf fighter here that I'm working on, he wears full plate armor, of course, and it's got some different designs to it. But he has like plates that come down from the top. Oops. Every once in a while, I hit that button on the pen and bring up the menu instead of drawing a nice smooth line. But yeah, some of his plates come down from the top, others kind of go up from the middle, and they just all kind of overlap and slide around each other while he's in motion. Let's see. I've got, yeah, this part of the belt over here that needs to kind of flex outward. And then the actual belt that holds it together going around this hexagon. All right, and this piece should curve. Let's see, then this piece up here. And we'll put this hexagon part in there. So this dwarf, he was a character. Well, he's based on a character that I played in like my first Adventurers League game, which was it was actually a solo session because nobody shows up for Adventurers League out here, and so it was just me and the DM, and he had me go to some sort of island where something was going on, and they had like a makeshift town there for adventurers that were arriving to take to like explore this island or something. And so the I don't know, the main portion of this character's entire career consisted of getting off a ship, stomping his way into the local tavern, um, ordering the strongest drink they had, and failing his constitution save and throwing up all over the place. The rest of the game was actually pretty unimpressive, but that was funny for at least a minute. And but I've never really done anything with this character. That was about the extent of his entire adventuring career. But I have some other characters that I did play for a much longer period of time. Although mostly, as far as Dungeons and Dragons goes, mostly I end up being the DM. All right, we'll get this trim onto the gauntlet. Here we go. And which way is this going? This is another one of those parts that kind of. Oh wait, that's not right. But it's another part, one of those parts that kind of went behind the paladin and got erased. So now I have to reconstruct it. And if I ever get into a spot where I really don't know what I'm doing, I will pull out my reference sheet because I have created a reference sheet of every character in this thing, like a character sheet for them, so that I have them in multiple poses and positions to to better understand their the way their equipment looks and stuff in different positions. Let's see, that arm is a little too thick right there. Just tuck it in. There we go. Let's see here. Alright, so let's get the rest of this gauntlet in place. So some of this part, well, the plates of the gauntlet, some of them kind of were looking a little too 2D right there. So I gotta kind of fluff them back out a little bit to make them look like they actually fit together, overlapping. There is one more here. We'll bring it down to about there. And let's see, right here. Oh, I made that too thin. Okay. And this is the wrist part. There we go. Let me fluff that up just a bit more across there. Yeah, it doesn't go quite smooth across here, does it? Let's try this again. Just nice and smooth. There we go. Let's see. Now we've got the hand and the sword. So his thumb would actually be like right here, coming back to his palm. And of course there is a metal plate that goes along his hand, or the back of his hand there. I'll just do that right there. And bring the thumb down a bit like this. And give this blade just a bit more thickness than what I did. In the sketch. Alright, where do we go here? Curves that way. And then it goes up to there. Let's see. This is just straight across right here. And I'm going to need to reference that. This is something I haven't looked at in a long time. The fine details of this cross piece on his blade. So right now I'm bringing up my bridge. Okay. Get my dwarf sheet open. Alright. I'm going to go ahead and leave this on the screen where you'll be able to see it. So let me just slide this over here. And so mostly these are sketches from within the coloring book. But that's the best shot I've got of the sword. We'll zoom in until it gets all pixelated. There we go. Okay, so it's not actually flat right here. That center piece comes up to about here. And then it comes, let's see, it arcs down into the piece and then drops. So let's do that. And I'll get rid of that cross line that's right in there. There we go. And put my gem spot right here in the center of it. And I've got two more here. And this is kind of thick across here. Alright, and then I've got these two flanges with the holes in them, or gems. That kind of support the blade. we go. And they have 2 holes in them, or 2 gems, depending on how you want to interpret that right there. And I like to leave little details like that open to interpretation in the in this uh, kind of like this coloring book. All right, now the blade itself just goes right to a taper, and I'm gonna put that point right there. Yeah, I don't like that top line though. That looked a little bit goofy. Let me rotate again. That should help. I still don't like it. We're getting there though. That's better. I want to get this to come together without making it too sketchy or too, what do you call it, too wobbly. I like to have nice straight lines here. Alright, so I've almost got it. That should do it. Okay, and then same thing, there's a blood groove in this blade, but I don't know if I want to keep it. Let me zoom out. So, yeah, that size, that's about how big he would be on a page, so I will put it in this one. But on the thinner blade from the Paladin, that was not the best idea. Oh, and now I'm down at 200%. I can see some more chunkiness here that I don't like. A little bit of stroke and line not matching up. It's the one trouble with being able to zoom in super tight. You can find those super tight little mistakes in there and spend a lot of time correcting them. Let's see. So let me go with, let's say, like right here. And I'm going to go ahead and use Shift to draw that line right back to there. That should do it. And I can make this a little bit smaller. Oh, where did we go to? Let me undo that. That was a little too gray to see what I was doing. Okay, so at 3, that's making actually a gray line there. Let me undo this. Oops, I hit some wrong keys. Alright. 1, 2, 3. Okay. So I'm only going to put that one side in there. That'll do it. Alright, so I've got, yeah. Oh, he has wrinkles in his forehead that I didn't put in. Of all the details for me to skip while I was working on this. Alright, so let's do eyebrow muscles and then these little wrinkles in his forehead. They kind of add a little bit of age and character to him. Okay. But I'm not going to do anything with his eye. I'm going to leave that just nice and open for coloring. Okay. I believe he is done now. So that's pretty good. Made it through that character today. Haven't even finished my hour yet. Alright, so let's jump from him to the ranger. The ranger is also a dwarf. Let me put in a new layer, name it ranger, so I can make sure I keep her separate from everybody else. And yeah, there's this thing right here that's bugging me about this. It looks like this arrow does this. I mean, it really doesn't, but it kind of looks that way. And let's see, so Right, the arrow goes from the outside. Well, she's drawing it back here. It goes across the inside. Is that right? I don't think that's right. Is it? No, I think that arrow is supposed to come across the other side of the bow. So we'll make it stand out on this side. And if I'm wrong, then I'm wrong. But of course, her fingers are looking a little goofy too. So let's start with the fingers. Let's get one finger out here on that side of the bow, or on the top of the, what do you call it? The arrow. Can't think of my words today. And then we'll do this one. And then her next finger might be curved down and tucked. And you might have her knuckles here. Still going to look a little weird, I think. But then let's bring the thumb back like so. And then, let's see, on this arrow, I've got basically a flange that goes around the shaft for where it's been seated. Let's get that line in there. Okay, and yeah, so the point of this arrow should be more over here. And it looks like I designed this one to be sort of like a razor blade. So, oops, I think I did that at slightly the wrong angle. Okay, and it should be further down, like here. Okay, just trying to fine tune all these little details as I go along. And let's see here. There's that. And there's that. Oh, yeah, okay. So let's, still not the same. And still not the same. We'll get there eventually. About like right there, which, oh, things are like going weird on me right here. Okay, so that's still, okay. Trying to figure out exactly what is going wrong here with this shape. But I think I've got it now. Alright, let me zoom in some more. We're going to get way in there and try to sort this out and make it nice and clean. This is one of those moments where it might be a lot nicer if I was working in Illustrator, but I do really prefer the, I don't know, the free flow of Photoshop, even if I do mess it up and have to tweak things often. But I really do like Illustrator for when I need to create something very clean, um, like like a like especially for text. I like that. Let's see. And of course, I'm zoomed into what 200% right now, and to see this thing at like pretty much how it's gonna look as a coloring book, you can zoom it all the way out to like 33%, and most of the stuff that I'm fixing wouldn't have even noticed, because that's about how far out you would be, and that's it's you can't see all those little tiny things, but they're there. Alright, so back to, well, now I went all the way to 300%. Let's go back to 200. I'm going to go ahead and put this circle in there. I think this is supposed to be like a, what do you call it? Like a razor blade with um, some sort of like hole design in it that maybe it does more damage or something like that. Maybe it's +1 arrow, right? Okay. Now, coming back out to 100% so I can see pretty much where I'm going again. And, oh, I see another little problem right here with the way that I was making this flow. So, that and that should be there. So maybe this finger might still be out here like so, but then this finger is going to be tucked and her palm is coming here. And then we're going to have a wrinkle in the glove. Let's put one there, and one there. And then flare that glove out and around. And then over here, the thumb part, I'm going to keep this going straight down like so, and actually flare that across like that. Alright, and this could actually be a little bit better up here, I think. A little bit more like that. Okay. Alrighty. Okay. Now, this Dwarf Ranger is not a character I've ever played with or anyone that anybody else has. I actually created her specifically for um, for this coloring book, and from what I recall of when I just kind of was working up the concept for her, I think I wanted her to be sort of like a southwestern dwarf. Not so much a mountain dwarf as a sort of a hill dwarf or a desert dwarf, and um, so mostly wearing leathers and um, just generally, like a ranger, being an outdoorsy ranger type. Oh, you know what? I think I want this thumb to come up over that arrow. So because the thumb is what's holding the arrow at the bow. There we go. And let's see. So bottom part of the glove. Yeah, I think this needs to come out more, like it's what do you call it? Hanging and flared out. There we go. And then I can just put in some of this line that shows the thickness of that gauntlet. And this shirt is being pulled kind of tight right there. And that little bit in there we can make black. So I try not to do too much, what do you call it, like filling in shadows or, making things, what do you call it, um, like not rendering them too much with a light source, and definitely not rendering it to the effect of like cross hatching with a comic book. But I do try to sort of make sure that things look like they have form, and sometimes I'll fill in a little bit of a dark shadow or whatever, but mostly I like to leave that open uh, for for the colorist of as a coloring book, whoever's going to color it. Uh, I like to leave as much as I can open for them to color and change things up as they please. And I'm having trouble following this bow and keeping it uniform. Oop. But also because it's also partly because I didn't draw it uniform to begin with. Alright, that's much better. It's not quite perfect, but it's good. Alright, and let me send that down a little bit, and just, um, yeah, her fingers are kind of closing in too tightly right here. So let me pull those. I don't think I want the index finger up there. I think that's where that problem starts. So let's go with index finger here and have it, yeah, just like this. Next finger right here. And then this would be the ring finger and the pinky finger, just kind of tagging along back here. There we go. I think, yeah, that looks a little bit better to me. Okay. Now for the string is like the hardest part of this bow. I just like to use that nice straight line right there. Bring this down. And I'm going to zoom back in nice and tight here. It's 300% so I can carefully clean that line of the bow out of the string. There we go. And I'm going to go ahead and flare this out like I had it drawn there. There's that. So that is the bow itself just kind of flares out at the ends where it is set up to receive this string. And then I will sketch the string wrapped here. And it of course goes outside the bow because it's going all the way around, so we got to clean that out and give it that thickness. This one's going up here. Did I? No, I didn't make the brush thicker. It's just, I think because I'm using the pressure at this zoomed in level, that it is coming out a little bit thicker than I might want it to. Clear that out. And here's this one. There we go. Alright, and I got some little nubs that are coming over in there. Probably won't see those at uh, regular size anyway, which would be, yeah, like right around there. But if I could see them, I try to clean them up. And let's see, we're at, let's see, 2 more minutes. Yeah, I'm gonna take a little break here. Actually, I think I'm gonna go ahead and end the stream at an hour, so just a few more minutes. I'm gonna finish the bow, and then we'll end the stream. Because I think that'll take longer than my 2 minutes. But then I will try to be back tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. again, Eastern Time. So I will try to do another hour or two tomorrow morning and see if we can get through the Ranger and maybe one of the other characters. But actually, yeah, and we'll see how things go. Mainly, you know, I've got 12 pages left to ink, including, or wait, 11 pages including this one. And so I'm trying to stream as much as possible, trying to get back in the hang of things, and you know, kind of share what I'm doing with anybody that's interested. So yeah, let me finish this bow, and then I'm going to terminate the stream for today. Let's see. So this is coming up here. Make sure I keep that curve, and I'm gonna start with that angle. That's about right, almost. That'll do. And I just went ahead and drew that right through the, what do you call it? Through the arrow. I don't like that. So I figure I'll just go ahead and try to get these lines nice and smooth in here. And I tapered too fast there. So much effort right there. There. How's this look? Okay. Aside from flaring out way too much at the top, it's looking pretty good. Alright. Let me clean this up again. So the bow does not go through the arrow or the hand. Okay. And then it also does not go through the string, which is in front of it. And I'm going to go ahead and let it have that flare. Like I said, it's a little bit much of a flare, but I'm going to let it keep it in this drawing because I think it looks a little bit more natural that way. You know, it's not like a manufactured bow. It's something that was crafted like right out of a tree. So now let's go ahead and wrap this. Bring this up here. Bring this around. And right there. Okay, that little bit right there got a little bit wonky. Let me see if I can touch that up just a bit more. Just make that a little bit smoother. Okay. Okay. And all right. So, yeah, as far as this bow goes, the only other thing that's bugging me right now, now that I can see it like this, is the way the arrow is like aiming way too far up that bow. And That's kind of a small detail, but yeah, it's something that I don't know if I can fix that. I can fix it, but it might be more work than it's really worth. But I'm going to go ahead and end the stream there for today. And like I said, tomorrow when I come back, I should be in about 6 a.m. or so, starting my stream. Uh, I might try for 2 hours since it's going to be the weekend. But we're going to go through, let's see, I've got, this is the cleric back here with her mace of like meteor metal or whatever, star metal. And I've got my wizard back here. There's all kinds of chaotic energy going on, these ruins. And there's some more tweaks that I already want to make to this background. Um, because I did do this background bit in perspective, but then I didn't include a thickness for the wall, which I don't know why I didn't even think of that at the time, but it's bugging me now. So that's the thing that I'm going to have to tweak. I think I'm going to make this doorway wider. Uh, but yeah, tomorrow we'll do some more and see if we can get through this page and on to the next one. So thank you for joining me today. If you're still with me there, Bolts, thank you very much for joining me and talking to me today. And I hope to see you tomorrow.